The Whispering Well. Liam was 12 when the old man in the well first spoke to him. He had been playing outside after dark on the family's small farm near the ancient, unused well. It stood like a relic of another time, its beams supporting a rope and pulley with a bucket still attached, though Liam's parents had told him the well had run dry long before he was born. The night was eerily quiet when Liam heard it, a slow, raspy voice calling his name. Liam! He froze, his heart racing. Turning around, he saw no one. He swallowed hard, his confusion mounting as the voice came again, louder this time. Liam! It sounded old, like one of the chain-smoking farmers from town. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end as he edged toward the well. Peering into its shadowy depths, he called out, "Who's there?" The voice replied, low and gravelly, "Have you got anything tasty?" Liam squinted into the darkness, but even under the full moon, he couldn't see beyond the first dozen feet. "Who are you? How'd you get down there?" "If you give me something tasty, I'll reward you," the voice promised. Liam hesitated before pulling out the cookies he'd pocketed earlier. Tentatively, he placed them in the bucket and lowered it down. The pulley creaked as the rope unspooled further and further until Liam reached its limit. Then the bucket's weight suddenly disappeared. 20 agonizing seconds passed before the weight returned. Liam hauled it up, his heart thudding. When the bucket reached the top, he saw something inside, a shiny gold coin, faintly glimmering under the moonlight. Liam's breath caught in his throat. He'd never seen anything like it before. It looked ancient, the edges worn smooth, and strange symbols etched into its surface. "Thank you," the voice croaked from the darkness below. "Come back tomorrow, and bring me something sweeter." Liam didn't respond. He clutched the coin tightly in his hand and bolted back to the house, locking the door behind him. That night, he barely slept, tossing and turning as he tried to convince himself it had all been some bizarre dream. But the weight of the coin in his pocket the next morning proved otherwise. Curiosity gnawed at him all day. By sunset, despite the unease knotting in his stomach, he returned to the well. "Liam!" The voice greeted him before he even reached the edge. "Do you have it? Something sweeter?" His hand shook as he pulled out a chocolate bar he'd stolen from the kitchen. Without a word, he placed it in the bucket and lowered it down. The same creaking groan of the pulley echoed into the night. Again, the weight disappeared, and after a few moments it returned, heavier this time. When Liam pulled the bucket up, his eyes widened. Inside were 2 gold coins, identical to the one from the night before. "You're doing well, Liam," the voice rasped. "Much better than the others." "The others?" Liam asked, his voice trembling. "Oh, yes," the voice replied with a chuckle that sent shivers down his spine. "There have been others, but they didn't bring me what I wanted." Liam's grip tightened on the bucket's edge. "What happened to them?" Silence hung heavy in the air before the voice answered, slower this time. "They're still here, with me." A cold chill swept over Liam as he stumbled back from the well. His mind raced with questions, but he couldn't bring himself to ask any more. Instead, he ran, the coins clinking faintly in his pocket as he bolted back to the safety of the farmhouse. That night, sleep eluded him. The promise of riches from the strange coins battled with the ominous words of the voice. When dawn broke, Liam told himself he wouldn't go back. But as the day wore on, the allure of more coins became irresistible. By the 3rd night, Liam brought a slice of his mother's cake to the well. This time, he didn't lower the bucket as eagerly. "This is the last time," he said, his voice cracking. The old man chuckled, his tone sharper than before. "That's what they all say, Liam. But you'll come back. You always do." Liam didn't respond. As the cake disappeared into the dark void, the bucket returned, not with coins, but with a small dirt-stained doll that resembled a child. And then the voice said, "It's your turn now, Liam. Come join us.